What are the three most common types of houses in Northern Virginia? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Here's the rundown. Hey everyone, I'm Darren Robertson, realtor in Northern Virginia with Samson Properties and Robertson Residential Group. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We post new videos every week and you don't want to miss anything. So, what are the three most common types of houses in Northern Virginia? Number one, single-family detached homes. So there are a lot of different types of single-family detached homes all across Northern Virginia, and it's important to know the different styles that are common. So there are ramblers, which are often called ranchers as well, split levels, split foyers, bi-levels, colonials, and Cape Cods. Those are the most common architectural styles that are found in Northern Virginia. Ramblers are one-level properties that sometimes have basements and sometimes don't. Split levels are similar to ramblers, and actually appraisers will compare both ramblers and split levels and split foyers and bi-levels because they have similar above grade square footage, so above basement square footage. But split levels actually have multiple levels which are reached by short flights of stairs. Split foyers are similar to split levels, but the main difference is when you walk into a split foyer, you're walking into the foyer and then you can go up a short flight of stairs or down a short flight of stairs. A bi-level is interesting because when you walk into a bi-level's main entrance, you're actually entering the downstairs of the house. So sometimes those spaces can resemble basements because they're designed that way. And then you walk up a flight of stairs and then you're in like more of the main, kitchen and living room and dining room area. A colonial is known for its above grade square footage, which is usually on at least two levels above grade, above basement. So colonials will often have two levels above basement plus a basement, or they'll have just two levels with no basement. Cape Cods are similar to colonials in the sense that they both have similar amounts of above grade square footage, so above basement square footage. And because of that, appraisers will often use Cape Cod and colonial comparable sales when they're doing analyses on either type of those properties. One thing that differentiates a Cape Cod from other types of properties is the dormer style windows that you'll find on the upper level. And you'll see the ceiling line right above you at a slant oftentimes. Number two, townhomes. So there are a lot of different types of townhomes all across Northern Virginia. You'll find older townhomes that are built in the 30s, 40s, 50s that we call row houses that don't typically have HOAs and are just one house right after the next in one long row. That's the term row house. You'll find duplexes, which are oftentimes built in the 1940s and 50s. They're older properties as well. Duplexes are where you have two attached homes side by side that are right next to each other. They have one common shared wall, just like other forms of townhomes, but it's just two properties. So it's called a duplex, and there's just literally two properties. It's like having a townhome on either side of another townhome, and that's it. And duplexes will often have bigger yards because each property is basically an end unit. You have the yard space to the side and to the front and back, and then your shared wall, and then the other property begins, and they have the same arrangement as well. When it comes to these older row houses and duplexes, most often these types of properties do not have HOAs. Sometimes these older row houses and duplexes will have driveways and sometimes they won't. It's more rare to find a row house or a duplex with a garage. You'll also find lots of types of regular townhomes that will often have HOAs and were often built anywhere from the 1960s or later. These townhomes will sometimes have garages, sometimes not, sometimes have driveways, sometimes not. Sometimes you'll just have a parking lot with a couple assigned spaces or one assigned space instead of a driveway or a garage, or sometimes you'll have both of those arrangements. Some townhomes will have a yard and some won't, and some townhomes will be end units where you actually have no neighbor to the side of you, so you have extra privacy and a lot of times extra light if there's a window that's on the end unit side of the house. So end units will typically cost more than interior unit townhomes. Number three, condos. So there are a lot of different types of condos in Northern Virginia. You'll find garden style condos that have 1 to 4 floors, Oftentimes these properties, you have a private entrance that you're entering from the outside, but oftentimes you're entering a hallway and walking to your unit, or going up a flight of stairs and walking to your unit. Sometimes they have elevators, sometimes not. You'll also find lots of mid-rise condos which have 5 to 8 levels. These are buildings where you're entering a main entrance and then you're going in and either going up some stairs or going up usually an elevator to get to your unit. These types of properties often have more amenities and security or a concierge in the front desk. You'll also find lots of high-rise communities in Northern Virginia, and these condos usually have 9 floors or higher, and you'll find some really tall high-rise buildings in Northern Virginia. These have multiple elevators usually, and they typically will have lots of amenities. Finally, you'll also find townhome-style condos. Townhome-style condos feel more like townhomes, but they're still condo ownership. So walls-in ownership, they call it, where you walk into the unit and pretty much everything you can see you own, but you're not responsible for maintaining the exterior of the building. A condo will often feel like a regular townhome, but it's condo ownership. So it's important to remember that it has condo fees, which condo fees are generally higher than regular HOA fees for regular townhomes. Prices for all these different types of properties will vary a lot in Northern Virginia, but as a general rule, single-family detached homes are more expensive than townhomes, and townhomes are more expensive than condos. Keep in mind there are plenty of exceptions to that rule. So an example would be a luxury condo. There are a lot of luxury condos in Northern Virginia that are a lot more expensive than many townhomes and many single-family detached homes. So now you know the 3 most common types of houses in Northern Virginia. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We post new videos every week and you don't want to miss anything.